Okay, so this is an interview with Hugh Brown, and today we're going to be talking about the UFC 104 coming up this Saturday. That's October 24th, and we got a very interesting card, a very interesting night of fights lined up. We got two fights, the main event and the co-main event in particular. Out of those two fights, which one are you more interested in, the Ben Rothwell versus Cain Velasquez heavyweight, or the title match between Machida and Shogun Rua?
Well, I tell you what, both of them are really interesting fights. It's really hard to say. Both of them are interesting. I really can't. I'd say it's about a draw. Both of them be very interesting, and probably they look like two of the most interesting fights that we've seen in a long time, just from the previews, I'd say.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I agree. So let's talk about the co-main event. Let's talk about the heavyweight fight between Ben Rothwell and Cain Velasquez. Out of these two guys, which guy personally, or his personality, do you think you like more, or you identify with more?
Well, I would say that I identify probably more with the Mexican guy. He seems to be more my type person. I think if I was a fighter, I'd probably be a lot like him. Mm-hmm. Just, you know.
So you kind of favor Cain Velasquez there?
Well, I don't know if I favor him. I don't know if he's got the upper edge, or if I would say that he's the one I think's going to win. Both of them are extremely talented. Certainly, luck would have to do a lot, determine who's going to win. It could go either way in both these fights, and that's why it's too much of the unknown. They're all highly qualified. They're all very skilled fighters, and who knows? I don't know what's going to happen, but it will be interesting to see who's going to win.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. Between those two guys, Rothwell and Velasquez, who do you think is in a better position to win based on their skill set?
Well, I don't know. I'd always say that I would say that the guy who's had the most fights has had more experience. You can't always go by that, but he's fought like 30 fights, and the other guy's fought like 6. So experience, I would kind of think the guy that has the most experience would be the one that would win. I can't be for sure, but I would say so.
So you're saying that Ben Rothwell has the advantage?
I would say that the big guy, Ben Rothwell, has the advantage.
If experience wasn't an issue, what do you think would determine the winner of this fight, and who do you think would win?
Well, I think in this fight, the one who has the best conditioning and the strongest guy, the quickest guy, because both of them are extremely skilled, and the one that's thinking the most, the guy that's heads up and the most alert guy, the guy that's not too eager to get in there and finish the fight, but the guy the best thinker, the guy that is fighting and thinking about how am I going to win this thing as he's fighting, and not to be overly aggressive, but one that kind of sits back and waits for the opportunity to strike or to take advantage of the other guy.
Okay, so if the let's say the odds were 5-1 against Ben Rothwell to win, who would you bet on?
Well, in that case, and it was a money bet, I think I'd bet on the underdog, because you would tend to make a lot more money, and you could go that way. Who knows?
Okay, so money aside, who would you bet
on? You know, I really don't know. It's hard to say. I see both fighters have so much to offer. It's just hard to come to a decision about who I think would be the best fighter, or who in this particular contest would come out the winner. It's just hard to say.
Do you think it'll be fight of the night or knockout of the night?
No, I don't. I don't see that fight being over the other fight. I mean, although it's rated as top slate, they're fighting last, So you try to put your best fight last. But I see the other fight is extremely interesting too.
Okay, so let's talk about the main event. Lyoto Machida, the champion, 15-0 winning streak, going up against Shogun Rua. Who do you like best in that fight and why?
Well, I think I like Machida. I like him a lot, and he has a family resemblance to our family. I think he looks a little bit like Devin, except, of course, naturally he's more muscled up and everything, but he has a lot of Devin's look. And I don't know about drinking urine. That's the only thing I don't find kind of distasteful about the whole thing. But I think that, and what was your question again? Were you asking me?
Basically, just who do you like best? Whose style do you like best?
I think I'm going to go with Machida because he seems to be, he's got a good style and he knows how to wait for the other guy to strike and take advantage of that. Like the last fight we saw, remember the guy who was fighting, what was the heavy guy, the good fighter that got knocked out real easy? The other fighter anyway kind of stood back. He waited for the other guy to swing. He even put his guard down
You're talking about Anderson Silva versus Forrest Griffin?
Yeah, Forrest Griffin, and when Forrest Griffin got knocked out, it was like the other guy was wanting him to swing so he could get an opening, and he was just waiting on him.
Do you think that will be the case in this fight?
I think it very well could be, because when I look at Machida and I look at the guys he's fought in the past, he's fought a lot of great fighters, well-muscled, more solid than he was, and yet he has a type of skill that he easily overcome those guys that looked like they were far more powerful than him and more rugged than him. Yeah. But he just had that skill and the knowledge to stand back and wait for that opening, which is so important, I think, in fighting. Is that thinking is so much a part of fighting. When you know when this guy swings, when I get him off guard, that's when I'll take him.
Okay, real quick, one last question. What do you think the key is to anyone, and for that matter, beating Lyoto Machida? What's it going to take exactly, and how can Maricio Shogun Rua capitalize on that?
Well, how can he beat him? I don't know. I think he's going to have a great deal of luck, and I think he's got to be extremely cautious about how he fights. He can't come in there and try to overpower him. I think if he rushes him and he tries to throw a flurry of punches or a charge in there and throw him down, that he's going to open himself up for to be taken out. I think he has to be cautious, and by the same way, he's going to say, I'm going to take an opportunity now to attack this guy, and he's got to be careful how he does everything. He just can't do it just by overpowering him just like that, because this guy, Machida, knows how to fight the rugged guys. He knows how to take the big, strong guys, wait for that opening, and just pound them senselessly.
Yeah. Okay, last question. How exciting do you think the fight will be?
I think it will be a very exciting fight. I think naturally there's going to be fans on both sides for both fighters. I don't think anybody has anything one over the other. I think they all are set up to fight, and I don't see anybody preferring one over the other that much, unless there's a hometown situation and they say, well, we want to cheer for him because he's from our area. Except the Latinos, naturally, they'll probably cheer for the Mexican guy. And I don't know what will happen between the Brazilian guy and the American. Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to say.
All right. Thanks for your opinion, and we'll see you later.
You're very welcome.